The time by Sagicor is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by KFC.
When we are back it together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment you share is finger licking good.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, ticket troubles for Grand Gala. Hopefuls and Prime Minister Andrew Holness plans to improve road and highways. PNP rolls out public transport talks in Crossroads. And in sports, it's a Jamaica Derby Day on Independence Day. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Tuesday, August 5, 2025. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Nika Lewis. The Prime Minister has been figuratively sparring with the Integrity Commission as their ongoing legal battle rages on. The People's National Party, however, has used this to their advantage in their bid to secure a victory in the upcoming elections. With our top story, here's Kevin Black.
Whatever I have worked hard and honestly for it.
The Prime Minister is seeking a declaration that the Integrity Commission acted unfairly and unlawfully in its conduct of an investigation into his statutory declarations. This ongoing case has been a talking point during the island-wide tours of both the People's National Party, PNP, and the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP. According to opposition leader and PNP President Mark Golding, the matter of being elected while under investigation should be met with public disdain.
And their work. And in fact, the God clause that is in there that says them can't report nothing until them send them final report to Parliament. We're going to modify that to give it more balance, because I can't see how it's right that people going into this general election and they don't know whether the person on the ballot is somebody under investigation for illicit enrichment, and that is not right.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness shut down these claims while speaking to supporters at the JLP St. Andrew East Rural Constituency meeting. He says the proverbial gold spoon has never been in his mouth, insisting that he acquired his belongings through honest means and not by inheritance.
I have no inheritance or any endowment or any trust fund anywhere. Whatever I have worked hard and honestly for it. And I want to say to you that my ethic is that I believe in working for what I have.
On the other end of the spectrum, Golding countered Holness's claims of honesty and transparency while promising greater accountability. He assured that should his party regain power, politicians' records will be published in some form to ensure transparency in the government.
We will bring impeachment legislation to Parliament, because when I see how an MP is caught on video with a stool beating up a woman in a car park and nothing happened to that person and them have him as a candidate again for their party, I said that can't be right.
The saga continues as PNP's Shadow Minister on National Security, Peter Bunting, hinted that a possible update to this case might emerge during the course of this week.
This campaign is about putting someone in Jamaica House with clean hands and a pure heart. Someone whose statutory returns are certified. Someone who is not under investigation for illicit enrichment. And listen out, there is more to come in a few days. Andrew is the only man who get him money out of Olint, out of Cash Plus, and out of SSL before them collapse.
Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Refuting allegations of poor governance and touting a decline in the murder rate due to his administration were just a few of the priority items on the Prime Minister's agenda while he addressed onlookers and supporters recently. Here again is Kevin Black.
When the PNP formed the government, we end up with a bad government.
The governing Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, is fully locked in campaign mode as they allege the opposition People's National Party, PNP, did a poor job during their last tenure at the helm. This as Prime Minister Andrew Holness addressed a myriad of issues at a JLP St. Andrew East rural constituency meeting Sunday.
Aside from the economic problems, the country faced a government problem. We were dealing with a government that was not able to control simple things like a mosquito-borne disease.
Prime Minister Holness also highlighted what he believed to be blunders in the People's National Party's prior initiatives.
They had failures with electricity. They had failures with the bad gas. They had failures with a thing they call Jeep. It is not so long ago that these things have happened, and people still remember them.
In response to the PNP's claims of the murder rate being doubled under his administration, Holness said that his party is the one that has significantly contributed towards the ongoing war on crime.
Look at when crime started to rise in Jamaica, past 1,000 murders under the PNP. We are the ones that are working now to bring murders sub 1,000 at the end of the year. A problem which many thought could never be solved, but we solving it.
He displayed confidence that the nation will choose his administration for a third term despite the valiant efforts of his political opponents, the PNP. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
The Prime Minister has announced that work on the North-South Highway has officially commenced. His announcement comes as the government inked an agreement with China Harbour Engineering Company, Czech. Kevin Black reports.
Signing signals vision, confidence, and a continued commitment to transforming Jamaica's infrastructure.
Many agree that road repairs are necessary and benefit all Jamaicans. Acknowledging this, Prime Minister Andrew Holness divulged his plans of correlating revenue generation with road fixtures. These infrastructural developments will reportedly encompass an expansion of the North Coast Highway and the Edwards Yaga Highway. While speaking at a signing ceremony between the government of Jamaica and the China Harbour Engineering Company Monday evening, he reminded that the key to economic growth lies in national development, adding roads will lead the way.
What we're trying to do, and just to bring the public into the conversation and the understanding, is to build the highways that generate the economic activity that then generates the revenues that we then direct to the roads. And we want to be able to move goods around the country quickly, from production outlet to market point of consumption. And we want to increase that speed. And it is the highways that do that.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness also indicated that his administration is allocating over $45 billion to repairing roads in a systematic way.
The first opportunity that we have gotten to make a massive allocation towards repairing in a systematic way, not patching, but full rehabilitation, to give you a carpet road, as we call it. We're going to make our country seamless in travel.
He emphasized that roads are being built not only for tourism, but for the tourism product. He further mentioned that the increased speed in commuting from airports to hotels will encourage tourists to choose Jamaica for the recreational excursion.
The intention of the government is to build a highway network around Jamaica that you can get around Jamaica in less than a day. So your road network has to be so well developed that once you come off of the plane, you know you're going to get to anywhere in Jamaica very quickly.
Prime Minister Holness believes that Jamaica is on a figurative road to obtain better physical roads. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Now, as the country gears up to celebrate independence, frustration is mounting among some Jamaicans who say they're unable to get tickets for this year's Grand Gala. Carla Ramdeen took to the streets and files this report.
With Independence Day approaching, anticipation is building for the country's biggest cultural event, Grand Gala. But for some eager patrons, getting a ticket has proven difficult. The Jamaica Agriculture Development Commission, JCDC, earlier advertised ticket collection location on its website, encouraging the public to pick them up ahead of the show. However, when CVM News visited two of the advertised outlets Tuesday, there were no tickets available. At Sangster's bookstore in Springs Plaza, part-time worker Deshaun Nelson explained that the store received about 250 tickets Monday. He added that the tickets were in high demand and went quickly. He says he believes they should have been furnished with more tickets given the demand. At another location, the cashier explained they too received about 200 tickets but declined to comment any further on the matter. The situation has left some would-be patrons uncertain. One vendor told CVM News he's hopeful he will get a ticket, but admitted he hasn't checked any of the outlets as yet. CVM News efforts to get a comment from the Minister of Culture and Entertainment, Olivia Grange, up to news time has proven futile. The Grand Gala is scheduled for Wednesday, August 6th at the National Stadium. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
There is so much more to come on CVM News at 7 after these.
We a bucket together when everybody out. Fried chicken we a pre-bucket for the crew. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Spicy original when we online.
Bucket together to the new dance craze. Space explosion bursting with flame.
When we a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment you share is finger licking good. Bucket together, come make we bucket together. Hey, bucket together, bucket together.
It was rough. Every time the rain fall, the whole place wet up. I have to put the kids' book in a bag until the place dry out. Ah boy, I couldn't afford a new roof. Then one day, Rose tell me about a grant I can get through the government. So I sent a letter to the ministry telling them wagwan. The officers came, them do them inspection where I was able to go to the hardware store, get the supply so my roof could have been fixed. I don't think I ever see my kids them smile so much yet. That means everything to me. The Ministry of Economic, Growth and Job Creation make my life better.
the internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Continuing the news. From the economic basket case to the case study, how Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness described the Jamaican economy in a recent podcast interview. The Prime Minister sets the tone for why his administration deserves another shot at leading the country. Amoy Harriet tells us more.
In 2012, Jamaica hit its peak debt level at nearly 144% of gross domestic product GDP. This meant the country owed more money than it was earning, putting huge pressure on the government to borrow just to keep things running. But in a twist of events, the country saw a major turnaround, with debt falling from roughly 144% in 2012 to below 70% by early this year. In a recent interview on popular local podcast Throp, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness credited the growth to improved fiscal discipline.
Back then, people viewed the budget with trepidation. Oh, there's going to be some, great taxation placed on us. When we read the budgets, people are more listening. What's new we're going to get from what are we going to get from the budget? Not what they're going to take from us. So, the benefit of good government has resulted in a stable fiscal policy that does not require us to raise taxes.
Dr. Holness turned to inflation, which he says Jamaica has controlled in recent years. Notably, inflation peaked at 10% in 2022, declined to 6% in 2023, and stabilized at around 5% since last year.
That is from the redirection of the central bank from trying to control interest rates and money supply and these kinds of things to focus mainly on controlling inflation. Inflation is the bane of consumers and fixed income earners and savers. So we have been able to maintain inflation within the 4 to 6% target, and the rating agencies that put out their perspective on Jamaica have all essentially said, that Jamaica has performed creditably and better than its peers in the region.
He admits he didn't do it alone.
It didn't come certainly not just by my own political leadership. The administration before that and the administration before that deserve some credit, because when the crisis happened, first, Bruce Golding was the Prime Minister at that time. I was in his cabinet, and I know the efforts and the work that was done with then Minister of Finance Audley Shaw to bring legislation to Parliament regarding the fiscal management of the country. And the former PNP administration, Peter Phillips, did quite a bit of work, again, to institutionalize that. And so when I took it to another level.
A job, he says, has been no easy feat.
It is not easy. Every MP who goes into their constituent, somebody says, see the road, I don't have water, demonstrations, threatening that they're not going to vote. What do you think happened? They come back to me. And they say, Prime Minister, if you don't do this, the people are going to rebel and they're not. And it is that political pressure that the people believe is in their interest that creates the dynamic that got us into the rut that we fell into for the last 50 years. Yeah.
And with just days to go before the date for the next general election is announced, Dr. Holness says that day will be the true test of the electorate's judgment.
This election is going to be a test as to whether or not the country has matured enough, the electorate has matured enough to reward a government that performs.
Gotcha.
We'll see.
Amoy Harriet for CVM News.
Many nationals, including Jamaicans, have voluntarily exited the United States based on new guidelines under the Trump administration. Not everyone has that option, though, including a man deported to Jamaica who has been talking to Curlin Brown about the unfortunate position from birth and a death that has muddied his case.
Even the clock on the wall moves in a set direction as it ticks past each hour. Unfortunately, up to this time, Jermaine Thomas, who is being housed at a shelter in Jamaica, has no idea who has the most reliable details on his existence since he was separated from his family in Texas.
They kept me for 30 days in Bell County Jail and Conroe, Montgomery Processing Center, 2.5 months. And then they still have me in their system, I want to say right now to this day, because I called them recently and they said under my alien number, I'm still waiting to be processed to a CCA facility because that was a jail facility.
What's your number? What number?
0421-32384. That is my alien number.
And you're in for what?
They said I'm still there physically present in the jail waiting to be transferred to a CCA facility. So they pretty much don't know that I've been deported yet.
Added to feeling lost in an unfamiliar country, Thomas, who turns 39 on August 9, had a social security card, filed his taxes, and was enjoying other benefits as if he was born in the United States. He says he was also on medication for his mental health for some 6 years and was in the process of applying for disability benefits. Now, this stressful scenario is a trigger by itself.
I'm all the way in the fog. Like I don't know whether I'm coming or going. Sometimes I'm like we're having this interview right now. I could just space out. I just blank out. Like I'm here, but I'm not here.
He's convinced he was served a raw deal and should never have been under the microscope of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, even if the charges against him were true.
I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to fix. Like, it's black and white. They've tried to do it several times before. It didn't happen. And I knew that me being not a citizen of national from nowhere before, I'm just going to do the time for the crime that I've been accused of, allegedly, and I'll get out and I'll still be in the States. I'll still be home.
But you're maintaining your innocence.
Of course. I mean, I've already pled guilty because they said I would have to sit in there for 8 months and fight a misdemeanor.
For now, the Jamaica chapter of the Center of Family Unification Resettlement Initiative, Fury, is Thomas's closest physical support, and his parents, who were responsible for him as a child, still can't help him with his status as an adult.
My mom's in Texas. My father passed away in 2010.
And so he appeals to the United States of America.
Can I come back home? How long is it going to take for, I mean, I don't have to tell you how to do your job. Can I come back home now? Have you seen this? You know that it's wrong? Can I get some justice?
Curlin Brown, CVM News.
A new study is shedding light on the troubling relationship between economic hardship and violence in Portland, Jamaica, despite the parish's reputation as one of the island's safest regions. Covering the years 2010 to 2023, the research explores how poverty, unemployment, and youth joblessness, often significantly higher in Portland than the national average, are fueling localized violence, particularly among young people. Although Portland's homicide rates remain well below national levels, the parish has been grappling with persistent acts of violence that researchers link directly to entrenched economic deprivation. The study found that poverty rates in Portland exceed national averages by as much as 35%, while unemployment levels are 30% to 100% higher than the rest of the country. Young people in particular face disproportionate economic exclusion. The findings offer a powerful reminder that crime prevention cannot be one size fits all. The private sector organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, is calling for the creation of designated entertainment and sports zones to remedy traffic woes and boost economic returns from major events. Raymond Morrison has more.
The private sector organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, through its Sports and Entertainment Development Committee, says recent traffic standstills during Reggae Sumfest and now events like Best Weekend Ever during the Emancipation and Independence Weekend festivities in Discovery Bay, St. Anne, show the urgent need for better event planning and infrastructure. The group is recommending a strategic approach including designated entertainment and sports zones, modernized legislation for event hosting, tax incentives to drive private sector investment, and a national event infrastructure plan to support Jamaica's entertainment and sports ecosystem. Chairman of the Sports and Entertainment Development Committee, Dave Cameron, says government must work closely with the private sector to ensure the industry grows with vision and proper planning, adding that meaningful collaboration is the only way to unlock the full economic potential of the sector and avoid repeating past mistakes. The PSOJ notes that events such as Dream Weekend and Carnival in Jamaica attract thousands of international visitors, generating billions in economic activity and supporting thousands of jobs. However, the group warns that continued logistical challenges could hurt future attendance and economic returns. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
Police in St. Catherine have slapped a woman in the parish with multiple charges in relation to larceny. She's been identified as 24-year-old Amelia Venson of Caymanas Estate in Portmore, St. Catherine. Venson has been charged with unauthorized access to computer data, simple larceny and conspiracy following a series of online transactions between Wednesday, March 12 and July 2025. It was reported to the Caymanas police that a relative allegedly asked Venson to assist with transactions related to their account. The relative was later allegedly alerted that unauthorized online purchases connected to Venson's account were being made using his card. Further investigation revealed that Venson conspired with two other individuals to purchase goods amounting to just under $500,000. Venson has been arrested and charged. She is now awaiting her day in court. Calls are mounting in Georgia, Hanover this evening for the authorities to address a sunken hole that has formed along the main road in the community. CVM News understands that the hole, which has been deepening for some time, is wreaking havoc, especially for motorists. One resident told our news center that community members have had to place a tree limb inside the hole to prevent accidents. It's further understood that marl was recently dumped in the hole as a temporary fix. But with months left until the end of the Atlantic hurricane season, there are concerns that the road will give way in the event of heavy rainfall.
All small cars are in problem. If you have an SUV, you might have a little chance, but all small cars can't pass here. It's hard for we to pass here. A lot of parts, ball joint, rocking, all of those things have to change on a regular basis. Presently, they have a plastic culvert under there, and it's very large unit driving to and from, going to Cascade and further up, Pondside and all over. And honestly, from the day one when they put this plastic culvert on there, I know it wouldn't work because this is a major thoroughfare for all these heavy units, especially we have people have hardware up by Cascade now, tons of steel coming up on truck. So it's shrinking day by day and getting worse.
Here now is Jordan Fort with a look at what's to come in sports.
Well, Nika, Jamaica's under-15 reggae boys are continuing their charge in the CONCACAF under-15 tournament as they attempt to qualify, of course, for the FIFA under-15 World Cup. And plus, we're talking about some big names being announced for the Lausanne Diamond League meet on August 20. Top Jamaican athletes. You want to hear that?
All right, there you have it. Much more to stay for. But this is it. We're up on a break. So CVM News at 7 continues in a moment.
CIC is giving up to $5 million in free content insurance.
We've developed a free online calculator. So anybody in Jamaica, any homeowner can go on to BCIC online. You don't even have to be a BCIC customer, and it will give you a building value.
When you update your home's rebuilding cost with our online calculator, you'll get $5 million in free content insurance and up to 12 months to pay your premium.
If you're not insured, go get it now. Better to be safe than sorry.
50 years of
The time by KFC is
7:30. It's Independence Day on Sunrise. Miss Kitty and Dennis are taking over your Why Not Wednesday. First up, it's Wednesday service. We're blessing up your morning through dance. Then it's breakfast time with mothers. After the feast, it's time for something nice. From niceness to an art stroll, we're hanging with the National Gallery of Jamaica. From art to coat of arms, we're talking the crock that crowns our culture in wags. And we wrap the Independence fun with Free Zone. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
Do it for your best life. Go check your HIV status. So keep your life trending, no pretending. Me I tell yourself do it for you, do it for you. Every time you are link with a condom. Coulda Ozzy, coulda wife, coulda be a random. Condom connect and protect your profile. Be your own fan. Do it for your best life. Do it for your best life. Don't put yourself at risk. Condom connect every time. Do it for your best life.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Let's take a look now at what's trending online.
So, what's trending online today? The United States Department has proposed a pilot program that could require business and tourist visa applicants from certain countries to pay a bond of up to $15,000 to enter the United States. A move that could make travel significantly more expensive for many. Let's take a look at your reactions. At Talia._Dior comments, I'm so glad America isn't the only country in the world. At _Amelia_Anake writes, at this point, Tana una yard. At Dwayne Fun Life says, this is not a bad move if it will make the process easier and sure. Meaning, once you have the documents they require, you will get the visa because most people won't run off leave them 15K USD. At _.cu.ixprit. replies, that can buy me a brand new car. At Tiffany Morgan's Q writes, then the same should apply for US residents entering Jamaica. At PMBR Law JM comments, I am so tired of paying for other people's dishonesty. I think each applicant should be assessed on their own merit. What about those that have never breached the terms or conditions of their US visas? And that's what's trending online today. Continue to share your thoughts with us on X at CVM TV and CVM_television on Instagram and Facebook. I'm Michael Parr.
Heading over now to regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. In Guyana, the US $35 million bridge in Linden is taking shape. It will not only make travel in the mining town easier, but will serve as a major component of the plan to link the coastland to the hinterland with the construction of an all-weather road from Linden to Lethem. More from Newsroom Guyana.
This is what the new Mackenzie-Wismar Bridge will look like when completed. Spanning the Demerara River at Wismar, this bridge will stand as one of the most transformative pieces of infrastructure for Linden in decades. It's a project residents have waited years, or rather decades, to see. Abijay Skeet has been interacting with the residents from the start of the project.
Abijay, you told me that you've been on this project for a year and a half. I just wanted you to tell me what has been the response like from Lindeners. How do they feel about this project?
From the get-go, everyone has been very cooperative. We had different stakeholders, right? So upon mobilizing to Linden, we had to get rid of the utilities, the water lines, all within the compound. Every single stakeholder, from RDC to LMTC, no one gave us a difficulty, which is very surprising. I was happy about it. No one made it difficult. Everyone understood that the bridge is something that they needed. So it was never a problem from the minute.
And has there been any sort of disruption to traffic or in any other way to Lindeners?
Yes, we did have to relocate on the Washing Pond Road, so we did create a diversion before we did that. In the beginning, of course, there's changes, so people weren't very accepting of it. But once we got around, did a lot of publicity, give them the layout. Now it worked very fine that you didn't even notice that there was a diversion, right?
Correct.
When going over the bridge. So they can no longer use the road at GRA. we've cut out that completely, only for emergency vehicles heading to the hospital. But they can go around Nikedak to connect.
And in international news, rescuers are looking for dozens of people who are feared to be trapped after a massive cloudburst triggered heavy rains and flash floods in the northern Indian state of Uttarakhand. The details from the BBC.
Now, rescue efforts are underway in northern India after flash flooding swept through villages and towns. Local reports say at least 4 people have died and dozens are missing. Let me show you some videos shared online showing giant waves of water gushing through various rivers and sending tons of muddy water down the hilly terrains. Rescue teams, including army personnel, have reached villages which are believed to have been bearing the brunt of those floods. With me is Reha Kansara from BBC Verify, and thank you for being here with us. What more can you tell us about the scale and the damage of these floods and where exactly they actually are?
Well, as you said, there have been many villages that has been damaged in its path, and we've been looking at multiple videos from social media, but there is one in particular, for better use of words, that has taken social media by storm, and it's the one that you showed of a village being destroyed, literally submerged and destroyed as water gushed down. Now, that video we verified using satellite imagery and weather data from today, and it shows a village in Uttarakhand in northern India. We have to think about its location in terms of it being in the Himalayas. You know, it's a vast chain of mountains. Just imagine it like a waterfall coming down at you, taking out everything from its path. It's very dramatic. What we know is that it has essentially destroyed that village. Eyewitnesses say from another village that it literally took out everything.
That's it for regional and international news. I'm Kevin Black.
We take a break and then make way for sports with Jordan Ford.
We a bucket together when everybody out. Fried chicken we a pre-bucket for the crew. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Spicy original when we online. Bucket together to the new dance craze. Taste explosion bursting with flame. When we a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment you share is finger licking good. Bucket together, come make we bucket together. Hey, bucket together, bucket together.
When things get heated, keep you cool. Follow us at MyJPS Online for new ways to keep you cool this summer. And download the MyJPS app to keep track of your energy usage.
The Independence Grand Gala takes center stage on Independence Day, Wednesday, August 6th. Inside the National Stadium starting at 6 p.m. And CTM will be right there to bring you all the action live. Experience the pomp, the pageantry, the spectacle, the artistic expressions, all coming together to commemorate the 63rd anniversary of Jamaica's independence. Jamaica 63 Grand Gala, coming to you live from the National